Hi, this is Jamie Arenthal. Welcome to your vinyasa practice. Please use blocks, straps, or any other props as you need, and modify by bending your knees, placing a hand down to make this practice work for you. So let's begin today in a seated pose, Sukhasana. The word sukha means with ease. So make it comfortable for you. I like to sit up on a block to get my spine nice and straight. If you're sitting flat on the floor, you could use your hands to move the flesh of the buttocks back and out so that you can really feel your sit bones on your mat. Your hands can be placed down if you like, or if you prefer, palms facing up and maybe even touching pointer to thumb in Chin Mudra. Go ahead and close your eyes here. We'll begin by breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Take this time to bring your attention inward, noticing the air as it enters your nostrils, moves through your sinus passageways. Maybe you can even notice the air brushing the back of your throat and then filling your lungs, expanding the rib cage. And as you exhale, notice the rib cage narrowing. Notice the exit path of your breath, and maybe even distinguishing the temperature change of the air that exits your nostrils. You can make this breath a little bigger as you inhale, letting the belly expand and the ribs, and then inhaling all the way up to your collarbones. And then exhaling from the collarbones, narrowing the rib cage and drawing the belly button in. This is called three-part breath or Dirga Pranayama. Pranayama is breath control exercise. We intentionally manipulate the breath, and in doing so, we still the mind. If you like, you can even add a count. So once you've exhaled everything out, inhale 1 to the belly, 2 to the lungs, 3 to the collarbones. Exhale 3 from the collarbones, 2 lungs, 1 belly. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 3, 2, 1. Continuing like this for a few more rounds, using this time to settle in, to arrive at our yoga practice. When you finish this next round of Dirga Pranayama, return to your normal breath, keeping eyes closed. Bring your hands to a prayer at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a moment to set an intention for your yoga practice today. If nothing comes to mind, feel free to use ahimsa, the Sanskrit word for do no harm, nonviolent, and further defined as loving kindness and compassion, bringing that care, that nurturing to each of our poses today as we move through our practice. And then float your eyes open. Let's do one Om together. If Oming is not in your practice, feel free to hum. Exhale everything out. Inhale deeply. Om. Float your eyes open. Inhale your prayer hands up to the sky. Gaze follows. And as you exhale, separate your hands and turn to your right, anchoring your fingers, one behind you and one on the knee, and gently swivel your gaze to the back of your room. Inhaling, coming back to center, and exhaling, centering breath at your heart. Deep breath in, raise your prayer up, separate your hands and twist to your left. Fingertips anchored, swivel your gaze to the back of the room. Inhaling, center, prayer above, and exhale, centering breath at your heart. Repeating, deep breath in, exhale right. Pull that belly button in to help you twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, centering breath at the heart. Deep breath in. Twist to the left. Belly button in as you exhale everything out. Inhale, center. Exhale, centering breath to the heart. Changing it. Inhale, raise up. Exhale the right fingers to the mat and take a side bend. Make sure to keep that left hip glued to the floor here. And you can soften the elbow, let your head go, let the ear drop toward that shoulder. And then inhale, get tall. Exhale, centering breath to the heart. Breathe in. Exhale left, anchoring that right hip as you bow. Make it easy here. Inhale, center. Prayer to the center of your heart. Repeating, inhale, exhale right. Inhale, exhale, heart center. Inhale, exhale left. Inhale, exhale, heart center. Beautiful. If you have a block, you can move it aside. And we'll practice a seated cat-cow. So inhale, arching the back, shoulder blades behind you, gaze up. As you exhale, tuck your tail, tuck your chin to chest, draw your belly button toward your spine. Inhale, arch the back, cow pose. Exhale, round the back, cat pose. 3 more. Arching as you inhale, gaze up, heart lifting. Exhaling, rounding, really let your shoulders round forward as your belly button draws in. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. You're exaggerating that breath. And last one. And release. Good. Come on up, cross your ankles, roll forward, and come into a tabletop. Placing the hands directly under the shoulders, the knees hip width apart. Extend your left leg and flex the left foot. Keep the foot hip height. And then go ahead and reach that right arm out. Thumb points up. Spinal balance. If you want to make it easier, just put a hand down or put the foot down. If you want to make it harder, see if you can lift that right toe off the floor. Notice any wiggle, waggle. That's good. Those are your muscles kicking in to strengthen your core and the muscles running up and down your spine. And then you can let it go. All 4s, other side. Right leg out, flex the foot. So the heel is hip height. Reach the left hand out, thumb points up. Notice no wrinkles in your neck. There's nothing to look forward for. I was about to say there's nothing to look forward to, but that's not true. But just keep everything in one line, make it easier. We've got so much to look forward to. You could lower a hand or the foot, or you can lift the left toe up, make it harder. Continue to breathe smoothly, evenly, consistently. And then release. And then 1 breath, 1 motion. So extend the left leg and the right arm. Inhale. Exhale, all fours. Right leg, left arm, inhale, and exhale, all fours. Keep repeating this and keep your gaze focused on an unmoving spot. Keep the pelvis level. So notice if your hips want to wag, right? We don't want that. We want to keep everything nice and solid and just keep that breath going. In as you elongate, out as you ground. And think of that breath, it's elastic, right? So as we stretch long, we're using that inhalation to lighten, lengthen, lift. As we exhale, we're really getting deeper into the pose, or we're grounding or contracting. Last time each side. And then sit back on your heels in child's pose. Remember that anytime you need a break during this practice, of course, you could hit pause, but you can also take a rest in child's pose and join us whenever you're ready. Walk your hands further away from you so you feel that length through each side of the body. And then curl toes, lift knees, downward facing dog, Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. You can keep the knees bent here and lift your tailbone higher so the ears come between your biceps. And then pedal one heel at a time, rolling the foot out onto your mat like a little massage. And shake your head no, shake your head yes. Just keep the neck relaxed. You could even try sliding your shoulders away from your ears. Nice. And then roll up on your tippy toes. Inhale forward to a plank. If this is too much for you, you could always keep knees down. And as you exhale, come back to downward dog. So inhale to plank, gaze forward. Exhale, downward dog, gaze at your toes. Continue like this. If you're modifying, the knees are down and we're really coming back between child's pose and a plank on your knees. Right? So you get to choose. One more. And then meeting in downward dog. Lift the right leg up. You can open the hip, send that right toe to the sky. Use it as an opportunity to glue that left heel a little closer to the mat. Of course, if you like, you can always bend that right knee. Just make sure the knee is higher than the toe. Exhale the right foot forward. Fingertips on the floor. Good. And you can lower that left knee and release the toes behind you. Walk your fingers back into kind of like a hurdler's stretch or half split. So Ardha Hanumasana. Okay. And then inhale, rock forward. So you're in that low lunge. Anjaneyasana. Walk back to that half split. Walk forward to that lunge. One more. Exhale as you come back. Inhale as you come forward. Good. And then raise that right arm up to the sky for a twist. Other things you could do here, if it bothers your knee to be on the floor, you can always lift that back leg up or bend the right knee, reach around for the outside of that right foot. So your right thumb is pointing up. Just give yourself a little bit more of a quadricep stretch. Nice. And then release it. Hands come down, step back to downward dog. Pedal your heels, shake your head, shake your hips. Come up on your tippy toes. Inhale forward to plank. Knees could be down. Exhale, downward dog. So just warming up the shoulders, strengthening the core. And again, if you're on your knees, you're actually warming up that lower back, stretching through the buttocks as you come to child's pose. So whichever works for you. One more. And downward dog. Good. Left leg lifts, open the hip. Down dog split. And if you like, you could bend that left knee. Just make sure the knee is higher than the foot when you do this. Exhale the left foot forward. Good. And then lower your right knee to the floor and release those right toes. We'll walk our way back to that half split. Go ahead and lower your head here. Little hurdler stretch. And then inhale, rock forward into that low lunge. Exhale back. I'm gluing my left chest to my left thigh as best I can. Exhale back. Inhale forward. A few more. Exhale back. Inhale forward. And last one. Good. Now stay here. The right hand is down and the left arm is up to the sky for a twisting lunge. Options here. You could always lift the right knee and have a twisting lunge, or you could bend the right knee. I think I used the wrong. Anyway, the left hand is now going on the right foot, thumb pointing up for a little bit of quadricep stretch. Me and my right and left. Sorry, it's like one of my challenges today. And then release it, hands down. This time step forward, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. You may notice my knees are slightly bent here. So if you need to protect lower back, feel free to keep a soft bend in the knee. Walk your fingers up halfway, flat back, also called half forward fold or Ardha Uttanasana. Engage your belly here, lengthen through the spine, no wrinkles in the back of the neck. And as you exhale, pull your belly button in, tuck your chin to chest, and round over your legs. And maybe you could straighten your legs a little bit more here. You could also put a block under your hands to help you, whatever you need. Inhale halfway up. Again, lengthen your spine, look forward, but keep the back of the neck smooth. And then exhale, belly button in, nose to knees. Last time like this, walk yourself up, inhale, flat back, expand your arms wide, and reverse your swan dive. Exhale, centering breath to your heart. Moving into sun salutations. So I like my feet to be separated, hip width apart, but many people practice sun salutations with the big toes touching. Notice that your heels may still be slightly apart to keep the bones in the feet perfectly parallel. Raise your prayer hands up to the sky, inhale, and as you exhale, swan dive over, hinging at the hip, lowering the head, Uttanasana. Halfway up, inhale, flat back, gaze out, and exhale to fold. Right leg steps back, high lunge. Think about how you want to modify this, right? You could always bend the elbows to the side. You could always lower that right knee, either touching the floor all the way or just part way. If you want to make it more intense, straighten those elbows, plug those shoulders into their sockets. Pretend you're pressing a beach ball between your two palms, and then lift the right knee cap. So you're lifting the back of the knee and press that right heel back and bend the left knee even more, just to deepen that lunge. Notice the right heel is off the floor. We're not in a warrior, we're in a lunge. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. We'll come through vinyasa. So there's lots of ways to do this. Obviously, feel free to do it your way or omit it completely and meet us back in downward dog. So the first vinyasa will be modified. Inhale forward to plank, lower your knees, your chin, your chest, and then inhale to your belly, hands under your shoulders, pressing up gently. Elbows stay bent in baby cobra. Exhale, forehead down, bend knees, press back first to child's pose, Balasana, and then come to your downward dog. Lift your right leg up, send it forward. Take a twist here, right arm up to the sky. And then step your left foot forward, Uttanasana, lower your head. Coming halfway up, reverse swan dive. Exhale, centering breath to your heart. Other side, deep breath in, swan dive, hinging at the hip, lower your head. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold, nose to knees. Left leg steps back, high lunge, arms by the ears. So just like on the other side, same options. You could bend those elbows, you could bend the left knee. To intensify, straighten those elbows, plug those shoulders into the sockets, press that beach ball between your hands, then lift the back of that left knee, push the left heel back, and bend the right knee more. Your gaze is level, head balanced beautifully over that long spine. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Exhale, lower down. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So we'll go through a full vinyasa right now. Inhale forward to plank. Lift your kneecaps up. Really strengthen the backs of your legs. Exhale, looking forward, coming halfway down, chaturanga. Sliding onto the tops of your feet. The only thing touching the floor here are your hands, palms, and the tops of your feet. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. And then using the strength of your core, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Left leg up, send it forward. Left arm up to twist. Lower the arm, step right foot forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Coming halfway up, reverse your swan dive. And exhale, centering breath at your heart. Changing things up. Bend your knees, circle arms by ears, Uttanasana, awkward chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, nose to knees. Inhale, flat back, prepare. Now, if you have a jump in your practice, it can look like this. Bend your knees, hands are flat, elbows bent. Look forward, send the legs back into plank, and then come right through the vinyasa. But of course, you can step your right foot back, step your left foot back. You could go to downward dog directly or do any vinyasa you like. We'll always meet here in downward dog. Right leg up, send it forward. Warrior one. Left heel is down on a 45-degree angle. Use your mula bandha, so root lock, pull up. Lift the left kneecap to straighten the left leg, bend the right knee a little bit more. Same thing goes with your arms. You could always relax this to goddess arms. Exhale, vinyasa. Inhale, exhale. Left leg up, step it forward. Warrior one. Lift the kneecap of that right leg, straightening even more, bending that left knee even more, modifying as you please. Exhale, vinyasa. Hold downward dog. Breathe 5 deep breaths. Lips are sealed, eyes are opened. This could also be an opportunity to rest in child's pose. So please do what's right for you. Bend your knees, look forward between your thumbs. Opportunity to hop forward quietly or step, right foot, left foot. And then inhale, flat back, unfurling your spine and exhaling, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, circle your arms, Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Exhale to come up. We'll bring our hands to prayer. Let's repeat that. Utkatasana, inhale. Uttanasana, exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Exhale, vinyasa. Meeting in downward dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right leg up. Warrior one. Big inhale. Exhale, vinyasa. Left leg up. Warrior one. Big inhale. Exhale, vinyasa. Five breaths here. Remember, you can always rest. Bend knees, look between thumbs, step left, right, or hop. Inhale, flat back, and exhale to fold. Let it go, ragdoll. Knees bend, arms circle. Inhale for Utkatasana. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. One more round. Utkatasana. Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Vinyasa. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Down dog split. Warrior one on the right. Vinyasa. Left leg, down dog split. Warrior one. Vinyasa. Building heat. Lips stay closed. Eyes open. Hold downward dog, 5 breaths. Bend knees. Look between your thumbs, step or hop. Flat back and forward fold. Utkatasana. Tadasana. Beautiful. So standing poses, standing balances. So I will not mirror you. So please do your own left and right. I always have a chair by me just in case. We'll begin on our right leg. Hands on our waist. Lift the left knee up. Go ahead and start to step that, I'll do it this way, step that left leg behind you for warrior three. Now, warrior three could be as simple as one long line from your left toe to the crown of your head. Your arms can be behind you. They could be out like an airplane, or they could be by your ears. So let's try flexing that left foot and hinging at the right hip, bringing that leg and body parallel to the floor. You could Move the arms out to the sides for airplane for more balance. You could hold on, right? So whatever's right for you, just work on keeping hips level here. You have 3 more breaths. Now bend that right knee and step back. High lunge. We're going to take a twist here. So you can bring your hands to your heart. Lots of ways to make this easier. You could lower that left knee to the floor if you like. You could put a block under your left hand. But if you like, keep her hands. Hook your left elbow over your right knee. Take your right hand and press down on the left to swivel your heart up towards your thumbs. For those of you who can, you can also spread your wings. Just make sure the left fingers are on the floor. But again, the modifications here, you could have your block under your hand. You could have your knee on the floor. You could be here for the twist. Bring those hands back to your heart, to the floor, and you can step forward. Forward fold. Bend the knees, circle arms, Uttanasana, and then stand. Bring the hands to the hips. Standing on the left foot this time. We'll lift the right knee up and start to send that right leg behind you. Again, no discount if you keep that right toe on the floor. Just have one straight line down that right side body, right? We don't want to hinge here. If you like, release those hands behind. You can lift that right foot, flex the right heel, and try and bring the body parallel to the floor. If you need airplane arms, they're always there, arms in front, or even holding on. All valid options. Do what's right for you. You have 5 more breaths. When you're ready, bend the left knee, step the right leg back. Inhale the arms up, high lunge. So we're twisting the other way. So hands come to your heart, right elbow. You can hook it over that left knee. And again, push down on that right hand. Use your left hand as a lever, right? Push down so you can spin your heart up towards your thumbs. And then maybe extend your wings. One long line from that right wrist to the left. Or remember your options. Wherever you need to be is perfect. Then hands come down, step forward, and forward fold. This time, bend your knees and roll up. Chin last to come up. Circle those shoulders back and relax. Tadasana. So we have time for triangle, a couple of standing poses here. So let's step the right leg back. Right foot on a 45-degree angle. Raise the arms wide. We could start with our warrior 2. Gazing over left fingers. Turn the left palm up. Tip back, peaceful warrior. Straighten the left leg. So you're feeling stretched down the entire left side body. And then leading with your left fingers, swivel those arms into triangle pose. Gently rotate your gaze up towards your right hand. Check to make sure you're not cranking your head back, right? You want to tuck your chin a little bit and then swivel. You could extend your triangle here. So turn the palm towards your ear and reach. And then for some of you, you may enjoy both arms up. Just beware, right? This takes your core strength and a healthy spine. Do what's right for you. And then turn your gaze toward that left big toe. Release the hands. And if you have blocks, you can use them here, right under your shoulders. So the left foot is forward. Let's step the right foot in. So if our warrior stance is about 3 feet wide, we're going to move that right foot in. So it's more like 2 feet, 2.5. And you can use your blocks, come up into a flat back, lengthen your spine here, and then exhale, pour yourself over. You may turn your blocks down or get rid of them entirely. Pull your belly button in. See if you can move that left hip crease back a little bit more and fold over that leg. Good. And then come on up to your fingertips. We're going to turn this into half moon. Of course, you can modify as needed. So take your blocks if you have them, bend the front knee and walk your blocks to the front corners of your mat. Float the right leg up. So here we're in a supported warrior 3. We were just here moments ago. Keep your left hand on your block and start to rotate your toes toward the mirror. And then you can reach that right arm up to the sky. So half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana is often called all limbs pose. And it's really because we're expanding those limbs to all different, 4 corners of the room. And the other variation, you could have a variation here. The right arm comes down to your side, bend the right knee, grab that ankle and pull against that hand. So it's kind of like a dancer on the moon, if you like. A little bind, only if you want it. And to make it harder, look up to the sky. You could float the left hand off the floor, whatever you like, whatever variations suit you. Good. And then go ahead and release that leg if you were holding onto it. Bring the hands back down and you can step forward. Release yourself over those legs. Inhale and exhale, and then bend your knees and roll your way up. Circle those shoulders and release. We'll do this on the other side. So step your left leg back, turn the toes on a 45-degree angle, arms shoulder height. And let's start with that warrior 2. So warrior 2, what I see a lot, people are leaning forward, they're leaning back. And I want you to think of it like in fencing. If you were in fencing, you'd be holding your epi in the right hand. You want to be centered. You want your head over your tail so that you have that ability to move forward and move back. Yeah, so test it out. If you, in my apartment, I've got this column. So I can kind of guide myself, like I know I'm standing up straight, comparing myself to the column. So maybe you have something like that. Turn your right palm up and tip it back, peaceful. Keep elbows straight and peaceful, gazing up toward your hand. And then you could straighten that right leg. Just feel that sensation down the whole right side body. Start to lead with your right hand, coming into triangle pose, Trikonasana. So for me, triangle pose, my hand is above that right knee. If I try to reach further, I would turn this into a forward fold and my buttocks would jut out behind me. We don't want that. Tuck that tail under. You're gazing up toward that left hand. You could extend this triangle. So turn the palm towards your ear, extend that arm by your head. And then for some of you, this is not appropriate for everyone. You could float that right arm up for a little extra oomph. It is difficult. It does take a toll on your spine. So just take care of yourself. 5 breaths. And then swivel the gaze down to the floor. Bring your hands to the floor, either side of the foot or on blocks, and scoot your left foot partway in. So just to point out, I'm using the blocks and the shorter distance to help me to straighten the right leg. But if you notice you cannot straighten the right leg, you probably need higher blocks. Like you could use this. Yeah. So lots of options, or just scoot the back leg in even closer. That'll make it easier. All right. Come up to your fingertips. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, pour yourself over that right leg. And you could lower the blocks or get rid of them entirely. Work here on smoothing out your breath. So as I mentioned, the inhale lengthens you, lightens you, expands you. The exhale contracts you, deepens the pose, grounds you. So pull your belly button in on the exhalation and see if you can bring the right ribs a little closer to that right thigh. You're scooting that right hip crease back behind you, right? Like someone once said, you could balance a teacup on your sacrum here. That's how level your hips are. And then to come out, back to your fingertips. You can adjust your blocks and bend the front knee. Walk your blocks to the front corners of your mat and float that left leg up. So this is the supported warrior 3. You could stay here, or right hand stays on the blocks. Start to turn your left toes to the back of the room. You're flexing the left foot and raise your left arm to the sky. All limbs pose, Ardha Chandrasana. And from here, if you want that bind, bend the left leg, reach for the left ankle, and then pull against it. Create tension. Dancer on the moon. And you can make this harder by swiveling your gaze up toward the sky. And then release the leg, the bind if you have it. Hands come down. And this time we'll bend the right knee and tuck the left knee to the outside of the right knee and come to sit through. So if that didn't make sense to you, I know I've got this black mat and it may be hard to see me. You could always straighten your left leg out and simply cross the right leg over the left leg and hug that thigh up. Now, if you want the double bend, just make sure you're not sitting on your left heel and that the right hip can ground itself down to the floor. If you're floating, that means the spine is curved and we don't want to twist on a curved spine. So if that's the case, please extend your left leg out straight, flex the left foot. So go ahead and pull that knee in. Options here, you can wrap your left arm around the knee and crook of elbow, right hand comes behind you. Other variations abound. So you could bring that left elbow, just like we did in that twisting lunge, you could bring that left elbow to the outside of that right knee and use that elbow as a lever to twist you. And if you have a bind, you can use that here as well. Look behind you. Inhale and lengthen your spine. Exhale and twist deeper into the pose. You're tucking your chin a little bit, like you're aiming your chin toward that right armpit. Two more breaths. So my aim is to hold each pose for about 5 breaths. And then release, counter twist. Put the right elbow inside that right knee and turn to look over your left shoulder. And then coming back to center, a little fun here. You can keep your feet where they are. Bring your hands around to that left side, come on to the balls of your feet, and walk your hands around so that you crisscross the other way. So if you didn't follow that, the right leg is straight, and then you could just cross that left leg over. And then you have that option, right? Either stay here, both hips grounded, right foot flexed, or double bend, glue your left hip down, glue the left toes down. Lift your left knee up, wrap your arm around that knee and crook of elbow, and the left hand comes behind you. Variations, you take that right elbow to the outside of that left knee and press for more leverage. That's up to you. Inhale, grow the spine longer. Exhale, twist more deeply. And then turning back to center, take your left elbow inside that left knee and counter twist. So if you like, I can show you that transition again, if you'd like to see it. So the feet stay grounded. Now you're going to get a nice view of my tush, but here we go. I walk around, keep the feet swiveling, and then come to sit. Yeah? Okay, that's all the tricks I have for today. We can come into a pigeon pose here. So keep that right leg bent and left leg comes behind you. So if you have any knee, hip, lower back issues, the best pigeon for you is on your back with the right ankle crossed over the left thigh. But for the rest of us, we'll do prone pigeon. So fingertips on the floor, inhale, look up, little preparatory back bend, and then melt your way down to your elbows. Option 1, stack fists, forehead on top of stacked fists. Option 2, what I like about this is my head is aligned with my spine. If you feel like you can go deeper, separate your elbows, flatten your hands on the mat, forehead to back of hands. So that'll take you a little deeper. And full prostration. If you want it, stretch those hands out ahead of you, chest to the mat, forehead to the mat. Now, all the while, make sure that right knee is pointing out off the side of your mat, right? It's not pointing straight ahead. Because if it were pointing straight ahead, you'd be in the sagittal plane, just stretching the glutes. Here, I want you opening that hip. And if it doesn't work for you, on your back is the best variation. You have about another 30 seconds here in your pigeon pose. Let that exhalation melt you into the pose. Just let go, surrender a little bit more with each exhale. And then to come out, walk your hands under your shoulders. You can lift yourself up again on the fingertips. And then there's an optional bind here. You can keep the back bend happening right here, or place the right hand down, bend the left knee, reach for the inside of the left foot with your left hand, thumb points up. And if you want more, take that left toe to the crook of the left elbow, right arm up. Ooh, king's fall. It's okay. You could have go Mukha hands here, so a bind, right? And you could decide. I'm sorry, my balance. Any variation is wonderful. Even if you're staying right here in the back bend, it's just perfect. You can release, sit off to the left side, swing that left leg around, come to Badakanasana just to align yourself. The left leg will stay exactly where you just placed it, and the right leg comes behind you. If you're on your back, it's left ankle over right thigh. Fingertips, inhale, there's your preparatory back bend. And then exhale your way first to the elbows, stacking fists, forehead on fist. If you feel you have more room here, you can expand the elbows wide, flatten hands, forehead back of hands, or full prostration. Palms down, chest down, forehead down, or chin. So being where it's best for you, you have another 30 seconds here. And again, making sure that knee is pointing towards the side of your mat and not straight forward. And when you're ready to come out, hands under shoulders, press up, come to that back bend, fingertips. And if you want that additional bind, left hand flat, bend the right knee, reach for the inside of that right foot. And again, you could bind, you could place the right toes in the crook of the right elbow, left arm floats up for Gomukhasana hands. Any variation here is perfectly fine. Again, even if you're here facing forward in a back bend, and for those of you on your backs, you could just do a bridge here. That's a beautiful back bend, chest expansion. You could do it right where you are. We will be joining you on our backs in just a moment. And then you can release that bind if you had it. Sit off to the left, swing that right leg around, bring the soles of the feet together in Badakanasana. You could move the flesh of the buttocks back behind you. Inhale up tall and exhale, forward fold. Let your face soften, let your belly soften. You could even flutter your lips like a baby blowing raspberries, but hopefully not so messy, but just as cute. And then walk your hands back in. You can lift your knees up and then slowly lower yourself onto your back. We'll finish our yoga practice today with a 5 to 7 minute Shavasana. Keep in mind that for every 60-minute yoga practice that you do, budget 10 minutes at the end, at least for Shavasana. So if you have a shorter practice, it's shorter, and longer practice, longer. And don't discount Shavasana, this final relaxation. This is the moment where we get to reset our hormones, balance, and it's really quite powerful, even if you just did Shavasana on its own. And one of the differences in our breath right now, in you're laying down in final relaxation, your arms are a little bit away from your body, palms facing up, and your legs are splayed to a V. Your eyes are closed and your lips are sealed. You're breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your nose. But we're not practicing pranayama, breath control here, as we did in the beginning. Breath control is very intentional. Here, just do your natural breath. I love to think of this natural breath as like a wave, or the waves rolling in on the beach is your inhalation, and the waves rolling out to sea is your exhalation. There's no effort, it's just easy. And if you like, you can add a mind tool. The word mantra in Sanskrit means mind vehicle. So you can use words quietly in your head, such as in, out, following the movement of your breath, or rising, falling. If you prefer Sanskrit, my favorite is so, hum. So whichever mantra you choose, don't use it to punish yourself or as a weapon, right? No judgment here. As many times as you lose track of your breath and your mind wanders, note that your mind has wandered, and then get back on the bus, right? Start using your mantra again. No judgment, no criticism. Breathing in and breathing out. Your only job. In, out, rising, falling. So, hum. In, out, rising, falling. So, hum. Please feel free to remain in Shavasana as long as you are able. If you would like to come out of Shavasana, be gentle, remain still, and deepen your breath, inhaling so the belly rises, exhaling so the belly falls. Take 3 big breaths like this. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You can make fists with your hands, clenching the fingers and then splaying them out, and repeat that. You could point your toes and flex your heels. Repeat that. Circle hands at the wrists, circle feet at the ankles. Change direction. And then carefully, slowly begin to bend your knees, placing your feet on the floor on the outer edges of your mat, and windshield wipe your knees side to side. Only then, after bringing your spine back to neutral, you could draw your knees into your chest, hug them in, and either rock lengthwise on your spine to come up to a seat or roll to one side in a side lying child's pose, and use your hands to press up to Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Bring hands to heart. We'll complete our practice today with a single Om. Exhale everything out. Deep breath in. Aum. The word namaste means the light and the love in me recognizes and bows to your love and your light. Let's say together, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in vinyasa practice today.